On NFL Live, Dak Prescott in the building as Cowboys voluntary workouts begin today. A little pep in his step, getting ready to go. It says back 4 more. Pretty clever there, number 4. Okay. And Dak has to be feeling good as we got news late last week that George Pickens plans to sign his franchise tag tender. However, as of this afternoon, for our Cowboys reporter Todd Archer, George Pickens has not yet signed the franchise tag tender with the Cowboys. Adam Schefter back with us now. Schefty, you combine that news with the fact that Dallas did not use an early round draft pick on a wideout. What does it all mean for the future of Pickens and the Cowboys?
Well, it means that George Pickens continues to want a long-term contract or a trade. The Dallas Cowboys have said they have no intention of trading George Pickens, but then again, at this time last year, they said they had no intention of trading Micah Parsons, and we all know how that turned out. This is a story that still is evolving, and we'll still see where it goes. But as you mentioned, Laura, he was planning to sign that tag, but as of today, he still has not signed that tag. Now, I'm told it was because everybody was busy during the draft. It just didn't get done. We're told he's signing. We haven't been told he's not signing the tag, that his plans have changed. But it is interesting that it's Monday, and that came out on Thursday, and it's not signed, and he's not contractually obligated to be there at any point during the offseason until he does sign that tag, and he cannot be traded until he signs that tag. So there's a lot left there that's still to unfold. And in the interim, the Dallas Cowboys did get a deal done today with the former veteran wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who's signing a 1-year deal as he now moves on to the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, yeah, it does feel like there's not much that would be more important than getting George Pickens to sign that franchise tag tender. So if that didn't happen, it makes you think there's still a possibility that a trade could happen. All right, I said it, not Adam. Let's stay with the Cowboys as we see what's on
trend. Well, he has
to
sign it to be traded.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good point. Yes. Thank you for that clarification. Let's talk about the Dallas defense. Okay, they truly struggled on the defensive side in every facet, ranking dead last in points per game, passing yards, efficiency, EPA, and third down conversion rate. Dan, was last weekend's draft enough to turn around those defensive trends?
Yeah, talent-wise, it was the finishing touch. You get Caleb Downs, who in many people's eyes is one of the, if not the best players defensively in the draft. They draft Malachi Lawrence, Barham at linebacker. This is a much improved talent unit, and if Caleb Downs can play all over the field similar to a Cooper DeJean has in Philadelphia or Kyle Hamilton has in Baltimore, and Malachi Lawrence just throughout the season progresses and gets better as a pass rusher, you have him. Don't forget they've added a Rashawn Gary, Jalen Thompson at safety. This is a defense that on paper should be a top 12 defense in the league. If the offense plays in Dallas the way it has, the Cowboys are going to be a much improved and playoff contending football team.
That's a massive jump. I hear you. Next up, the Bears and their lack of pass rush. Chicago had an opportunistic defense with turnovers and big plays, but they couldn't get after the quarterback. Barely, noticeable pass rush, ranked bottom 4 in pressure rate to go with a sub 6% sack rate last season. Mina, did the Bears do enough this offseason to shore up that pass rush?
They did not, and I feel bad because I liked their draft. Like Dylan Thieneman, no one thought he was going to be there at 25. They needed a safety. I understand that. Adding a center, great tight end out of Stanford, Sam Rush. But as you pointed out, the pass rush was the most glaring need on this team. And unfortunately, they did not come out of this draft with any pass rush help to add to Montez Sweat, Noda Ingbo, and Booker and company. So I do think that the Bears are going to still need help, and I wouldn't be surprised if they have to make a move in season to augment that rush.
Last, we turned to New England when we last saw the Patriots on the field. Drake May got pressured 19 times and sacked 6 times in the Super Bowl. The O-line was a bottom 10 unit all last season long, despite the team's overall success. Field, they went O-line in the first round. Did the Pats do enough to break that trend?
They're getting there, Laura. I'm not sure it's a totally finished puzzle. I'll explain why in a moment. Between Elijah Vera-Tucker and now Caleb Lumu, the Patriots have reinforced this offensive line. What's exciting for them going forward is they have 3 players in Caleb Lumu, plus their 2 rookies last year, Will Campbell and Jared Wilson. They're all 22 or younger who are going to be counted on to play meaningfully for them right now and going forward. The big question is, of course, what's the offensive line configuration going to be? I expect Caleb Lumu in time to be their right tackle. For this year, he could be competing for an offensive guard job instead.
Up next, more Jets love. Get excited.
All right, the NFL draft is done. Mel Kiper Jr.'s grades are in. If you were on this list, congratulations. You have aced the test. Eagles, Raiders, Cowboys, maybe the Browns, the most surprising to get an A. Actually, let's be fair. Raiders surprised me as well. They're always picking at the top of the draft. If they drafted so well, they wouldn't be getting
That's
eight.
a good point.
All right. Mel Kiper and Damian Woody are here with us. Mel, we just saw who you gave an A to. There was 4 of them this year. Which of those teams intrigues you the most and why?
Dallas Cowboys, Matt and Damien, you look at what they were able to do. A new defense was going to be the focal point, right? It couldn't stop anybody. 9 games last year allowed 30 or more points. So 5 of 7 picks on the defensive side of the ball, led by the culture changer. That is Caleb Downs, that versatile piece in that defensive secondary that the Dallas Cowboys desperately needed. And they were able to get him by going up from 12 to 11 in that defense within the next 2 years. And then Jaysean Barham, watch him come to Maryland, then go to Michigan. Versatility off ball and outside. Dallas did a very good job. LT Overton, another versatile player late, even added a little offense with Anthony Smith late and Drew Shelton, the offensive tackle. But the defensive side of the ball was the focus. 5 of 7 the picks on that side where they needed it. Give them a lot of credit. They needed help at that spot, and they got it.
Addressing a clear need, Damian. How does this draft help the Cowboys in this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the main focus was on the defensive side of the football. New defensive coordinator Christian Parker, who comes from the Philadelphia Eagles. He needed guys to kind of fit the scheme that he wants to run in Dallas. And the one thing that you saw was you got a new leader in the back end in Caleb Downs, a guy that you can depend on the back end. And then you saw multiple pass rushers. And in this league, you need closers. We know the Dallas Cowboys are going to be able to score points. They're going to be one of the most explosive offenses in the league. But you got to have closers on the defensive side. And you saw the Cowboys really address that with a couple of pass rushers. I think ultimately what it's going to come down here, Matt, is the Dallas Cowboys going to have to be able to stop the run on defense. You have to earn the right to rush the passer. So guys like Quentin Williams and those guys, they got to be able to stop the run and allow those guys that they drafted this weekend to really get after the quarterback.
Look, at the end of the day, if you're a team that you knew you had a need going in and you addressed that, hopefully that pans out on the field in the upcoming season, even if they are rookies. Now, that was the good. These were the teams that didn't have a great draft in your eyes. You gave C grades to the Vikings, 49ers, and Jags. So which of these teams, that surprised you most with their picks, but you kind of looked at it like, well, what are you doing?
Well, we thought the Vikings, Matt and Damien, would target secondary help. Safety, put it off until the 3rd round. Cornerback, put that off until the 5th round with Demings from Stephen F. Austin. They took in the 1st round at 18, Caleb Banks, defensive tackle out of Florida. He looks the part, boy. He's got physical and athletic ability to be an elite player. But he comes off a foot injury, lack of big-time consistent productivity at both Louisville and Florida. Will he maximize that potential in the NFL? We'll see. He's going to need to at pick 18. They would have traded down. They didn't. They stuck at 18, passed on Thiedemann, the outstanding safety to Oregon. He ended up going to the Bears later in round 1, divisional rival there. So it's up to Caleb Banks. He's got all the talent in the world. Yep. Stay healthy. I say, maximize that ability. It's up to the defensive line coach at Minnesota. Get the most out of this kid.
Dominant at the Senior Bowl. He turned a lot of heads. That 2024 tape was good, but now we'll see what he can do. As you said, it's on the coaching there now in Minnesota. Damien, in your mind, which team had the most disappointing draft?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers. I really felt like the 49ers needed to address the offensive line in early. You know, that's a unit that needed some infusion of talent. They waited until, I believe, the 5th round to really get after the offensive line. In the 3rd round, they drafted Kalen Black, the running back out of Indiana, who wasn't even invited to the combine. He brings nothing in the receiving game, and this is a guy that might be the backup to Christian McCaffrey. So, you know, when you look at the 49ers and what they did in the draft, a lot of their picks just made you scratch their head, and there's been questions in the Bay Area about, you know, John Lynch and some of his past drafts. So we're going to see how this all works out.
Again, it seems to work out on the field. They're always in contention, not only in their division, but the NFC. But at the end of the day, look, the draft picks sometimes have to match the on-field product. Damien, great stuff. Thank you. Mel, while I have you, the Brendan Sorsby news breaking just moments ago. I know you well enough to know you've already started breaking down next year's quarterback class. Adam Schefter quote tweeted saying that Sorsby, a potential first-round pick. What do you see at Sorsby going into next year's draft, especially with this news today?
Well, Texas Tech, you thought about, hey, the talent's going to be there. Sorsby leaving Cincinnati, where he played pretty well, right? He has the talent. He has the arm, the talent you want. he would have been one of the potential top 5, top 6 quarterbacks going in the next year. You think about where we are with Arch Manning, needs to make some improvement in terms of accuracy. Dante Moore at Oregon, he's going to be way up there. Darian Mensah going from Tulane to Miami, coming off a great spring. He's going to be way up there. You got Sam Levitt going to LSU, from Arizona State. And Brendan Sorsby was going to be one of those guys in that mix behind Dante Moore and Arch Manning, maybe trying to get into that 3rd spot overall, entering the year maybe as the 6th highest rated quarterback. So they say the arm talent's there. It's undeniable. Now, obviously, this issue to deal with.
Yeah, and as we heard Pete Thamel say a moment ago, eligibility now. There's almost no chance that he's eligible for the upcoming season. So now what happens? We'll have to wait and see. Mel Kiper, you'll be there for us. Mel, great stuff. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Matt.
It's a nice well. It's Monday.
It's loaded, that's for sure.
It is. Now the NFL draft's in the books. Let's check in on the Monday mood for some NFL teams. And we're back with Damien Woody. Mr. Woody, what's the Monday mood for the Jets?
Jay, how about ecstatic? If you're the Jets, man, you've added a bunch of firepower to this team. Obviously starting out with David Bailey, the outstanding pass rusher with Texas Tech. He's going to bring, bring pressure to the opposing quarterback. Then you go out there at number 16, you get Kenyon Sadiq, the outstanding tight end from Oregon that brings a lot of speed. Omar Cooper from Indiana, D'Angelo Pond. The list goes on for the New York Jets.
It's a good list. This is a very good list for sure. All right, what's the Monday mood for the Chiefs?
Yeah, how about we're sending the message here? The Chiefs' first 4 picks all on the defensive side of the football, obviously highlighted by their first-round pick in Mansour Delane. This is a Chiefs team that over the past few years, their defense has really been leading them, closing out games, but they took a dip last year. They had guys move on in free agency, and so what you saw from the Chiefs, they were able to send a message like, we're going to replenish that side of the ball and really get after teams again.
All right, last one. What's the Monday mood for the Philadelphia Eagles?
How about Rosie? And that's Howie Roseman, the GM of the Philadelphia Eagles. You go out there and get Mekhi Lemon, one of the most accomplished wide receivers, the Biletnikoff winner, to go in that wide receiving core. And they also traded for Jonathan Grenard, the outstanding pass rusher from the Minnesota Vikings. And so when you look at the body of work with Philadelphia, it was just another outstanding draft by the Philadelphia Eagles.
And you get Lemon when he's on the phone with the Steelers. That was okay. Nice move there. Nice move. Damien Woody. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.